Hello, boys and girls. I am your health and physical education teacher for third grade and fourth grade and fifth grade here at Peter Mutual Elementary. Today I will be teaching fourth grade health. The dates of the lesson are February 1st through February 5th. I will be teaching you conflict resolution skits today. We'll be discussing some conflict resolution and discussing some skit scenarios. Let me see here. We will also, as a group, brainstorm each skit, and I have 5 possible skit scenarios. We'll brainstorm these skits one at a time, and we'll discuss ways to resist peer pressure to work through each possible conflict. For each conflict, we will ask ourselves 3 possible questions. 1, what is the conflict or decision that needs to be made? 2, what are the challenges that one faces with their decision? And 3, what are ways that we can accomplish what we want in a fair way to please both sides? Sometimes that's possible, sometimes it's not possible, but we will chat about that. Please remember that whatever we're doing here, whatever scenario you're in, it's very important to have good active listening skills, be a good listener, good eye contact, so you know what's being said and you're not confusing any scenario or any situation. Okay? So let's begin. Scenario 1, and then we are going to discuss 5 different scenarios, and I'll make sure I keep them to no more than 2 minutes apiece, so we keep our video around 10 minutes long. I don't want you to be listening to a long video. Scenario 1, 5 friends want to shoot baskets after school. They know they have a health test the very next day, but they choose to stay out late shooting baskets instead. Tough decision. I know what I would choose, and that's to study for the health test. And I know that's what you would all choose. But if that is the situation that we are presented, obviously the conflict decision needs to be made is, do I study for the test? Do I not study for the test? Do I play basketball first? Do I study second? Some challenges they face. Well, not only could you do poorly on a test, could you do great on a test if you choose the right decision? Will your friends be happy with your choices? Will you be happy? And can you choose both sides? The good part in this possible scenario is I think there is a middle ground. I think you can study for your tests, and I think you can also play with your friends. Exercise is very important. Reducing stress is very important. So exercise, I would always encourage, but I also encourage to study as well. Being proactive, studying for your health test, scoring really well on your health test, making me happy, making yourself happy and your parents, as well as playing with your friends. I'm sure that's the scenario that you chose. Is that the scenario you would have chosen, or would you have done it differently? Just think about that for a few seconds before we go on to our next one. A few seconds is up. We're going to go on to scenario 2 now. Scenario 2, Mr. D'Annunzio drops the answers of a health test on the floor in the gymnasium. Someone finds the test and shares the test with their friends. This one person in the group, doesn't feel comfortable looking at the answers. The other people in the group peer pressure that person who found the test to share their answers. What should they do? Well, the easy answer would be to turn the test back into the teacher. But should they turn the test back into the teacher? Should they keep the answers to themselves so they'll get a perfect score on the test the day after without studying? Should they share the test with their friends? Make friends. So their friends would be happy because they would have all the answers to the tests. We would get all hundreds, and Mr. D'Annunzio would be happy. We would be happy. Our parents would be happy. Or should we give the test back to the teacher? All good questions. I have no idea what you would choose. If you would give the test back to the teacher, maybe, let's say Mr. D'Annunzio left the gym. Could you follow Mr. D'Annunzio out the gym and say, Mr. D'Annunzio, your test fell on the ground. There it is. And then have me come back in and pick it up. That's a possible solution. Here it's very tough because you can't have it both ways. You can't cheat and return the test. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So you have to make these quick decisions. And I know you want to make friends. Some people like to do things the shortcut way and not really work hard, and they want to take the easiest way out. All right, but when it comes to doing well in school, sometimes you need to take time and you need to work hard. And that comes to studying. And in this situation, I think it would be best to turn the test back over and do the right thing. But peer pressure can make it challenging. All right, what would you do? Scenario 3. We're going to get off of health tests and health for a while. A new student has joined the class. 3 students begin to pick on and bully the person who is new to the school. Another person close by recognizes the bullying is happening, and they step in and stop the bullying from occurring. So you have a new person in school. That person's being bullied. All right? What could you do? What should you do? Should you do anything? All good questions. Obviously, the conflict is bullying, the person being picked on. All right, maybe that person, again, the person was new. They were being picked on. Were they being picked on just that day? Were they being picked on several days in a row? I don't know. Based on this, all I know is they were picked on that day. The challenges they face, well, what do? Should you be an upstander, someone to step in? All right, stand up to the bully. Tell them to back off in the nicest way possible. All right, stand up for the person that's being bullied. Or should you be a bystander and sit back and watch it happen? Possibly laugh and encourage the bully to continue with what they're doing? These are great decisions that you're going to have to make. Obviously, you want to make the right decision, and sometimes it's hard to make the right decision right away. What would you do? I know what I would do. I would step in and say something. You know, typically a bully, when confronted in a group, usually backs down. So if it wasn't just me being upstander, if I had myself and I had a few other people with me that would stand up to the bullies typically would back down. If it's just by myself, the bully might back down as well. But usually in a group of people, that bully does not want confrontation, so they'll seem to back down. Being an upstander is always the way to go about it. In guidance class, I'm sure you've learned about the upstander and the bystander. But in this situation, what would you have really done? Scenario 4. 4 students are trying to persuade their friend to do drugs. Their friend doesn't want any part of it. Another close by student recognizes the person is being peer pressured into doing drugs. They step in and stick up for the person being peer pressured. Interesting scenario. Well, what is the conflict? Well, obviously, whether to do or not do drugs. That would be definitely a conflict. What are the challenges they face? Well, if you do them, not only is it bad for your health, but you could also get in trouble. So it's not the right health choice to make. And you're going to get in trouble not only by your parents, but the people at school. There could be a lot of repercussions from your decisions. I know it's tough because you're being peer pressured. Maybe you're unsure of what it is. But really, a lot of times this happens. You got to make these quick decisions. And sometimes making quick decisions is not always easy, as you can see from the other scenarios. But this scenario is pretty clear as day. And I think what you need to do is make the right healthy choice. And just be honest with your friends, because if they are your true friends, they will listen to you and they will respect your decision not to do drugs. And you can suggest to do other things. So if someone's persuading you to do drugs, ask them, hey, do you want to go do something else? How about we go out and we go exercise? How about we go see a movie? How about we go do something else? Change the topic and do something else. Typically that might work, all right? But in a situation like that, if it does not work, one possible thing that you could do is just walk away. Because sometimes that might be the best solution to your problem. But what would you do in that situation? And finally, our 5th scenario, one of my favorites. Students are playing a game. 5 students are playing a game of kickball outside. One student wants to join the game, but is told that she cannot join. One of the 5 students who's playing already sticks up for that person who was excluded from the game. I remember in gym class when I was in school, we would choose our teams, and someone would always be left out in the game. Sometimes it would be me. Sometimes it wouldn't be me. That does not feel good. And in this situation, this brings up many memories for me and maybe for some of you. I know in gym class, we usually never have you choose teams. We usually choose teams for you. But sometimes if you're maybe outside of recess or you play with friends, this might happen. So I want you to think about how you would feel if you were chosen last or if you were excluded from a group. It definitely does not feel good. It doesn't feel good for you. It might feel good for the people that were chosen first through fourth, but the person chosen last never really feels great about themselves. You want to encourage them to be part of a team, regardless of when they were selected. And I know in PE class, we usually separate you into groups fairly, so this way no one is the last person selected. In this situation, it was great that someone stood up for the person that was pushed away from the game, that was excluded. So in this situation, what was the conflict? Obviously, the person not being able to participate in the game because someone was rejecting them. The challenges, well, there weren't a lot of challenges, but the challenge to me was, stand up to the friends, stand up for the people that are there, and stand up for the person that was being rejected. And ways that you would accomplish the activity by taking that person onto your team. Just be accepting of that individual and that person and their feelings. How would you feel? That's what I would do. What would you do? And that is the lesson for the day. I hope you all learned something. Conflict resolution is something I love to do via skits. These skits are great to do in class. They're fun to do. I always have fun watching kids act out and come up with good resolutions to all these situations. Unfortunately, we aren't able to do that now, but I'm happy to share with you some scenarios that I came up with, some of my responses that I might give. You'll have a Google form to fill out that you'll get to hopefully share some of your responses. And again, it's only a Google form. The responses will be very short, very short. 1 to 2 word answers, but I'll still get to hear from you and hear your thoughts regarding the activity. All right, everyone, please stay safe and stay warm. Bye.